Welcome. It is time for Constitution Study Television here on YouTube. I am Douglas V. Gibbs. You can learn more about me at douglasvgibbs.com, politicalpistachio.com. I want to talk about the Mueller testimony when it came to him testifying before Congress, and the constitutionality of Mueller and that testimony, or the lack thereof. Now, first of all, the appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel violates the appointment clause of the United States Constitution. The appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel by Rod Rosenstein in the manner in which in the manner in which Mueller is conducting himself, which is as a principal officer, requires that he be nominated and then confirmed by the United States Senate, of which neither happened. So, first of all, the very appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel was unconstitutional. Now, let's get beyond that. Now we've got the special counsel speaking before Congress, testifying, and from a constitutional standpoint, one of the problems with the Constitution, with what Mueller has been doing, is the president has been guilty until proven innocent. They assumed guilt, investigated without having a crime. Because, see, in the Fourth Amendment, for any of us, when it comes to federal government, I mean, there has to be due process, you know. We have to know what we're guilty of, what we're being accused of. The witnesses are, put forth, and so on and so forth. This is a crime that may exist, but we'll find it when we investigate. Could you imagine if the police came to your door and said, "Hey, we need to search your house because we know you're guilty of something. We don't know what. And we don't even know what might be in your house or where it might be, but you're guilty. We know it, so we're going to investigate you. We're going to keep investigating you until you're either broken emotionally, broken psychologically, broken financially, or we find something. Because we want you out of the house. We want you removed. And we want to make it so hard on you with this investigation that you are pushed out of your own home." Well, that'd be crazy. The Ion, the news, reporters would be all over it, and talking about the injustice against this poor citizen. But that's what they've done to President Trump. Now, when it comes to President Trump, first of all, he's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, first of all. Second of all, President of the United States, while President can't be impeached, according to Article 2, when it comes to any criminal charges or anything that needs to go before court or anything like that, that happens after the presidency. Now, the thing is, there's no evidence. Mueller, in his testimony, said as much. I've likened this to a scene from the Old West. Could you imagine the law in the Old West saying something to someone a little bit like this? "Yes, we have found no evidence that you have stolen any horses. However, we believe you are guilty of resisting being hanged for it." I mean, isn't that what they're doing? They're saying he's obstructing justice for something that doesn't exist. He's resisting being hanged for something he did not do. President Trump, I mean. The other thing that was fascinating about the Mueller testimony is that Robert Mueller did not look nimble, and I don't know, I was starting to wonder if maybe Alzheimer's was setting in or something. He looked very tired, very old, very out of it. He didn't even know his own report. He kept having to ask what section. He didn't remember what was in there, and then he looked it up. "Oh, yeah, okay, if it's in the report, it's true." Well, did you write the report? Were you a part of the report? Do you even remember what's in the report? That I found fascinating. But here's what I especially found fascinating. Even the leftist commentators, after it was all over, were admitting this looked bad for the Democrats. There's no evidence of collusion, Russian collusion. Well, there is evidence of Russian collusion in the sense that the Russians are trying to interfere with our elections, and they colluded with somebody, but it wasn't the Trump campaign, and it wasn't President Donald J. Trump or any of his personnel around him. If anything, it was probably the Democrats. Matter of fact, I'm not going to even say probably, definitely. But it's fascinating because the Democrats looked like the people who were stabbing at nothing. When they were asking Mueller questions, it's like they were trying to lead him and he wouldn't go there. They said, well, we know there's something somewhere. Okay, so we haven't found it yet, but there's something somewhere. Isn't it possible, Mueller? Well, we're not talking about possibilities. What's the evidence? I think the Republicans handle it quite well. I think Mueller embarrassed the Democrats. I think the Democrats embarrassed the Democrats. It looked very bad for the Democrats. And I think even more people in the public are going, you know what? Maybe this president isn't guilty of all the things they're saying he's guilty of after all. Anyway, it's been fascinating to watch. And once again, the constitutionality, I'm really bothered by the fact that we're watching the due process and innocent before, innocent until proven guilty, and all of those concepts that go along with the American justice system be tossed out the window basically because the Democrats are upset because Donald J. Trump won the election and threw a monkey wrench in their establishment desires. Obama was the 8-year opener. Hillary was to be the 8-year closer, and we would never have a Republican president again. Now, that said, the Democrats are doing everything they can to make sure there is never a Republican president again. They're setting the stage with this. They're opening the opportunity for them to do this again because now there's precedent. They're doing whatever they can to make sure that the Donald J. Trump type of thing doesn't happen again. Because it scares them. Because they're frustrated because he's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. So they can't, he's not a politician, so they can't control him. They can't bribe him. They can't threaten to ruin his political career. Can't take his money. I mean, he's losing money just being president of the United States. I mean, I was telling people, Melania Trump and President Trump, Donald J. Trump, living in the White House, they had, as billionaires and the lavish lifestyle they had, living in the White House is like living in a Motel 6 to them. Took a cut and pay, and then he donated his pay away. This is not a man who's seeking power or seeking money or seeking anything other than he wanted to make America great again. I know there's never Trumpers out there arguing with me. Who has, and it's funny because they said, well, Doug, he's not even a conservative. He's not even a Republican. That's the point. He's a pragmatic businessman who's decided this whole mess needs a businessman's approach. And the businessman's approach is, well, to kick butt, take names, and throw a bunch of people out the door. And that's what he's been up to, among other things. As a businessman, he understands what's going on, I think more so than the politicians. And he's caught them in the act. And they're freaking out, and they're doing whatever they can to get rid of him. And finally, after no evidence, and none of this, none of that, with Mueller, finally they can get him before Congress. They'll get some. And they're a laughingstock. So, in the end, when it comes to Mueller, first of all, his appointment was unconstitutional. The style of investigation is unconstitutional. You're not guilty before proven innocent. In our justice system, they'll say, you're guilty of something. We think it has to do with this. We're going to go looking for evidence. The tactics they've been using are unconstitutional, unlawful. I'm fascinated with what's coming next. Now, I've been telling my radio listeners on KMET, by the way, every Saturday, KMET 1490am.com for you guys that are not here in Southern California and can't tune in on the radio. Saturdays at 1 o'clock, I have a radio program. I've been telling my audience, I think this president knows more the Democrats realize. He knows who's up to what. I think he knows more than the Republicans realize. I think a lot of them are guilty too. And I think we're going to see, for lack of a better term, a crap storm over the next year approaching the election. I think Epstein was, as one person close to President Trump said, Epstein was the keystone. Epstein, you know about Epstein, right? This is the first arrest thing kind of to go down, and he has been called the keystone. What is keystone? Keystone is that stone in an arch that holds that arch together. Once the keystone is removed, the rest of the arch comes crumbling down. We just saw the beginning of the keystone being removed from the archway. Then there's the envelope affair where during H.W. Bush's funeral, some key Democrats and a couple of Republicans received envelopes. Nobody knows what was in them, but Jeb Bush had a look of horror. Biden had a look of horror. Hillary Clinton had a look of horror on her face. The Obamas received one. Carter wished he did. He was searching his folder, trying to find his envelope. And surprisingly, Mike Pence did. I don't know if that means he's in trouble or if he's being told, hey, these guys got their envelopes and they're all scared out of their minds. And nobody knows what was in those envelopes. Look up the envelope affair on YouTube. I might even do a video on it. And I think that those envelopes were saying, hey, the jig is up. We know about you. You're next. Epstein was just the beginning. The arch is going to come crumbling down. That's what I think is getting ready to happen. We'll see what happens on that. As a constitutionalist, as a conservative, and as a patriot of the United States, I'm very jazzed at what's going on, watching the left freak out. Now, on the same token, they're doubling down everywhere else. I mean, here in California, it's completely nuts. We got new sex ed and so on and so forth. It's absolutely, completely mind-boggling, out of control with the leftism. Oregon's doing the same thing. Portland's completely nuts. Seattle's completely nuts. Northeast United States, Chicago area. But the rest of America, we're depending on you to make sure Mr. Trump gets reelected and that this continues and that the establishment is dismantled. Because if it isn't, if we don't get this all dismantled and we don't put these people behind bars, if these people who have been committing treason against the United States with this deep state are not exposed, in prison, I'm half expecting some hangings, then this is the last Republican president of the United States, and the Constitution, we're practically in a post-Constitution period as it is, but the last remnants of the Constitution will be swept away. That's what we're up against when it comes to this president and the attacks against him and what the left is doing. And they're hitting the education system, as always, to the point where it's completely out of control. Entertainment, all those different things that they've got control of. And it's up to us to dismantle all of that and be involved and make sure that Mr. Trump gets back in. I mean, California's even going so far as they're trying to keep him off the ballot here. Not only because they don't want Mr. Trump to be able to even have a chance for electoral votes from California, but also because if it's like I told my wife, well, they're talking about keeping Trump off the ballot. She says, well, then why vote? Exactly. So all the down ballot Republicans don't have a chance. This is the type of dirty games the left is playing. But Mueller, this is something I think that is breaking things wide open. His testimony showed how petty, unlawful, and ridiculous these Democrats have become. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll keep it coming. DouglasVGibbs.com, PoliticalPistachio.com. Thanks for watching. United we stand, combined we kick butt. Where we go one, we go all. And always, remember, stay safe, stay patriotic, and stay constitutional. If you want to donate, keep this thing rolling. Keep information coming on this YouTube channel and my other one. I'm going to start some stuff over there too. at youtube.com/Douglas V. Gibbs. We need help because the radio show, man, we got a $520 shortfall right now. We're just barely keeping this thing going time-wise and equipment and all that. We need your help. So if you would like, and people are always saying, well, Doug, I'm not a speaker, I'm not a radio host. I try to go to city council meetings, but I got soccer and I got with the kids, I got to make dinner. I wish there was something I could do. There is something you can do. Help fund the people that are really doing stuff, like myself. I'm an activist. I'm out there doing stuff. I've got city councils in Southern California that are nervous when I walk in the room. So go to DouglasVGibbs.com, politicalpistachio.com, find the little yellow donate button, and don't just give me a fixed number now. Give me a good fixed number, but then go monthly. $20 a month, $30 a month. $30 a month is about $1 a day. $20 a month is less than $1 a day. I think you can afford that. Help out the cause. Let's keep this thing rolling. Let's get them while we can, because if we don't take care of it now, we may be done. I think this country's at a crossroads. Mr. Trump became president right at the correct time to help us get to the proper road. But he needs your help by you helping fund those of us who get the message out there, who are activists, who are doing the things that we need to do. I don't get paid to do this, so your donations are necessary. DouglasVGibbs.com, politicalpistachio.com. Find the donate button. Also, read Political Pistachio. I'm putting something on there pretty much every day. Last week there was a few days where I missed it because I was on vacation, but otherwise I'm pretty much putting something there every day, sometimes many things. These videos, articles, so on and so forth. Be a part of the Political Pistachio revolution right here in our US of A, while we still have that shining beacon on the hill. Thanks for watching. See you next time. And once again, stay constitutional. Bye-bye now.